Part 2 of pre-gaming for a customer. In the previous video, we discussed about retrieving the information, downloading the service manuals, and starting the study process, making sure you've extracted all the accurate information from the customer. So, once you have that information, you should take at least a minimum of 20 minutes to an hour to review the schematics, to review every issue that it could be. And the more you do this, the shorter your study time gets, because in most cases, you're going to know once you get there, simply because you have been properly exposed. So, prime example, this morning I'm going to take a look at a GE range. There's a problem going on with the elements. I have the model number. I already have a price on the infinite switches and the elements that are actually involved. And so I'm ready to go, because I know that in that process, that's where the issues are. Now, of course, I have the schematics, and the beautiful thing about GE and many manufacturers when it comes to ovens and stoves, they have, here's my language, strip circuits. And because I am a GE tech, I have GE certifications. I have the NUFI. So with the NUFI, I just plug and play. I can actually go in, and it tells me cooking times. A lot of times it gives me all the data that goes back to, as I stated before, you need to be prepared. You know, a lot of people say they want to do this, but if you're going to move in the way that this stuff is moving, you're going to have to really invest in the training, sign up for these different manufacturers. Some of them don't pay the best on warranty work, but you do get all their out-of-warranty customers, and you get the latest updates directly from them. That's what I like about the NUFI, because say there's something not online, a lot of people know about the manuals and things of that nature with GE. Sometimes they're not easily to extract. But like I said, you want to be in front of all these things. And once you pull that document, you go through what the issues are. You see the availability. In some cases, when I'm certain, I bring the parts with me. Like on this one, I have the infinity switches and I have the elements. So I'm ready to have a one-stop completion. But if I didn't do the homework, you know, people are like, oh, stoves are easy. They are easy. And especially the computer-based situations, because a lot of them, like I looked at one yesterday, GE profile, the PCB is gone out. There's the display has a CC code on it, and it's no brainer for the customer to approve it. That job is going to be roughly $790, you know, but it's all in how you operate and how you take care of the customers and how prepared you are. There's no way that customer would release the money to me if they didn't believe that I, number one, knew what I was doing, and I was confident when I went in to diagnose it. But I was only confident because I pre-gamed, and I pre-gamed enough to where I can go into situations. One thing about appliances, they all work on the same principles, and once you understand the nuances of each individual one, you become better. And then you will lean toward appliances that you know you can knock out the jobs quickly, the parts are available, and that way you keep funds running in and out of your organization through parts and service. So when you show up to the customer, you should have some estimate and everything ready. All that's done in your pre-gaming process. And the reason you want to have an estimate, I like to have my estimate completed, and then anything that's not needed I can delete, and then I can give the customer the estimate, you know, right there within 15 minutes, because people may have a window decision, and a lot of times they've already researched. Because I deal with a certain caliber customer, they already researched the placement, they already researched this and that, they already have an idea of what it may be, because I'm dealing with people who are my segment, my niche. And so I know I speak their language, and we understand each other. So it's a pleasure, and it's an easy thing for me to do business with them, because I can pretty much predict which way the conversation is going to go, and I show up prepared. The only thing they care about is time. How long will it take? That's some of the biggest questions I have. It's never about the amount with my customers. It's all about how long it will take. So I've carved up out that niche, and this is what I'm always telling my coaching clients. You got to get your niche. You got to get your market. And then you got to put money behind it and blow it up. Just be ready. Make sure the infrastructure is in place. Going all back to the original way you do business. Once you arrive, you make a cost-effective decision. Once you finish your pregame, make a cost-effective decision of whether you should go purchase the part. Because a lot of times we'll purchase parts and the customers don't get the work done. But that goes back to you pre-gaming and pre-qualifying the customers you deal with. Everything I say and do is from experience. And I move a certain way for a reason, because the reason we are successful is because, number one, we understand our customers, we cater to a specific customer, and we are providing services. Like prime example, today is Sunday. I'm out on service calls. Why am I out on service calls? Because my service fee is doubled, and the customers have no problem paying for it because they look at it as a convenience and one thing off their bucket list. Their checklist. And when you deal with customers who handle business and they're about business, you don't have a problem. Your job is just not to disappoint and to deliver. That's really not hard to do when you have things in order. So you want to be organized. You want to make sure that you're getting to these jobs on time and that you're prepared. So today I think I may have about 3 jobs. I'm probably going to add 2 more, simply if my customers are available, so I can get them off my list tomorrow. Because my job is always trying to be ahead. And I do that so that I can control the outcome of the experience. So once you arrive to the customer, your diagnosis should take no more than 15 to 30 minutes. If it takes more than 30 minutes, you're losing time or off schedule. Because the reality is, if you have the parts in hand, like everything I do is very calculated. There's no job I will ever take that would take me more than an hour to do, because that's losing time and productivity, and you can't get that back. So say for instance, I go into a customer, I'm dealing with the Samsung. It's an auxiliary heater issue, along with fan frozen up, defrost sensor replacement, thermopro, and drain kit. That job should be knocked out in less than an hour. 45 minutes should be the max on that job if you do everything. And it depends on how you move. I have some customers that it's not a problem for them to change out the I have to change out the evap cover, but in most cases I just have to change out the fan and the sensors, throw the auxiliary heater in, like I said, do the thermal probe and drain kit. In a lot of cases, the drain kits aren't even on the newer models, because remember, I stay within a 5-year range. I just don't have a lot of issues, but I'm making maximum profit because I go in with a plan, and I'm prepared to take care of that customer. So when it comes to truck stock, like a lot of people, they out here doing lid switches, and I'm not knocking anybody doing that, but the problem is there's a lot of people going for that low-hanging fruit, and they're driving down the price out of desperation because they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to use the blue book, and they're really hurting the industry, because the professionalism in the industry comes from those people who have systems in place. That's why you got certain places where the service call is $170, the service call $125, and my service call is $125, and on Sundays, depending on the price, the product, if it's high end, my service call is $250. If it's a standard regular service, it's going to be $180, $190, depending on the client. All that money goes toward the repair, so you know how to book that in. But have a process. So you go in the door making profit. But you can't demand or ask for those kind of prices if you're not professional. And I can tell everybody that now. They be like, oh, we need some of your customers. No, you need to focus on the customers who can pay you and then deliver the service that they expect. That's exactly what it is. It's no secret. People think it is. There's no sauce. But with that said, I'm wrapping this up. I'm almost to my client. Everything goes back to how you structure your business and how you move. Me and my guys, we all have real uniforms. We're not rolling with polos and all that relaxed stuff with khakis because we have to separate ourselves. We show up, we look like we right in the factory. But that the clientele that we service requires that. It makes them comfortable. So once again, I hope you enjoyed this little information regarding how I work my tickets, how I show up to customers. You can do it too. Just find out what works for you and tweak the experience. Good luck in all your endeavors and have an outstanding day. Miss Ward is signing off. All right, now, solid steppers.